All right, high rollers, really excited about our chat today. When you talk darts superfans, this guy is at the top of the list. Pretty fine player too, a lefty who plays with the Sudbury Youth Academy and on the county youth team at Suffolk. He has his own YouTube channel, hangs with some of the biggest names in the game, and just made high roller radio history too. We'll talk about that. He was diagnosed with autism around the age of 3. He's 21 now and is one of the faces of the new website Autism Awareness in darts. Oh, and his favorite player is Duzza. We like to call him the boss. Charlie Gray is with us. Charlie, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being our high roller today.
No problem, Derek.
First of all, thanks for being such a fan of the game. You have retweeted and liked our stuff so much. I do appreciate that, Charlie. You just love this game. You have your whole life. Why is darts so great, do you think?
Well, I first started to get to play darts. I started to play it or practice at the age of 4, I think. Granny gave me a set of soft tip darts. He used to have an old dartboard on his computer chair.
That's where you started throwing them, didn't you?
And that's when I was throwing them before I started to go into steel tip.
Started at the age of 4, man. So this is a lifelong love affair, playing with your granddad. I understand he was a pretty good player too. He played Super League, is that right?
Yeah, he played Super League for Sussex and Essex about a few years ago.
Well, that's amazing. So along the way, you probably picked up some good tips from him.
Definitely.
Now, do you beat him? Can you beat him now?
Sometimes.
Well, that's good. That's the way the game goes, right? Back and forth. Now, I see you guys got a picture together with Darren Webster. Now, you know he's one of my favorites. I love the Demolition Man. He plays with a lot of heart, fire and fury. He's always intense. He likes to give it some. What was he like to me? Was he a good guy?
Yeah, he was a good guy to speak to. He's a good friend of my mate, Jack Langston, who's a good friend of mine.
Darren Webster, he's just a wee guy, right? A little short guy, but he's such a great player when he gets up there. When he's in the zone, there's nothing better because he's yelling and screaming, lots of intensity, kind of like Gezi.
Yeah, he's a bit like Gerwyn Price, but Gerwyn Price, speaking of Gezi, he's the same as MVG, really, although last year he got fined because he went over the top.
Yeah, what do you think about Gezi? Because there's a lot of controversy surrounding this guy. I mean, he's one of my favorites because this guy wears his heart on his sleeve, plays with so much intensity, and when he hits those 180s, he really lets out those roars, but it's not for everybody. Not everyone is a fan.
Yeah, it's not really a massive fan that some people think, but even when he got to the final against Gary Anderson, and I'm not a believer in Gary Anderson saying, I just want to play darts, so let's get on with it, but you've got to be careful.
I thought that was so much drama. I was really on the edge of my seat there when those two came so close to colliding in that Grand Slam match. That was crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what about MVG, the world number 1? This guy's at the top of his game. I mean, this guy is so good. What do you think about Michael van Gerwen and the way he throws darts?
Well, he seems to be going really well, but he seems to be going up and down sometimes. Obviously, Michael signed to Winmore about 4 months ago, when he was with XQ Max, or Master Darts before XQ Max launched. Michael stuck with his darts for about 10 years ago. Since he won the Winmore World Masters back in the BDO days in 2006 at the age of 17, and I thought, this guy can play, and he's really fast as well.
Yeah, he's got a good rhythm when he's at that Aki, and when he's hitting those treble 20s, I mean, he's hard to beat. But speaking of getting beat, that he did in the world final. Peter Snakebite Wright is your current reigning world champion. What did you think of that match, and what do you think of Peter Wright's play?
Well, when I first heard the name Peter Wright, I didn't know who he was, but I watched back the YouTube video. It was the 1995 BDO World Championships. I think he was playing against Richie Burnett from Wales. But he didn't have makeup before that.
He's really got quite a hairdo and a persona with the fancy dart shirts and the tattoos on his head. He's really made a name for himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he can be funny sometimes, but I just started to think, I don't think he could win the Worlds, but he proved them wrong. But even like, I didn't think they could win the World Championships, like Michael Smith, Gary Anderson, Daryl Gurney, from these three. I didn't think could win the Worlds, but Peter was one of them, but he managed to win that.
You know, when you're watching Peter Wright play Michael Van Gerwen in the World Final, I kept thinking to myself, when is Michael going to make the comeback? But Snakebite was just on his game, and there was no comeback to be had. He just kept putting the pressure on him.
Yeah, I think Peter was about 3-0 up, I think, against before Michael come back. I do believe.
Yeah, it was an amazing match. He's a well-deserved world champion. So too is Michael, 3-time world champ. But I know you are the world's biggest Glenn Durrant fan, and I think Duzza is a fan of yours too. He recently sent you his wall banner. What is it about Duzza that makes him stick out from all the other professionals for you? I mean, you really like this guy.
Well, I do really, because when I first named the name Glenn Durrant, when he was playing in the BDO, I haven't heard the name who he was, but now I know. But he was in his red and white shirt, but he was ranked number 1 in the BDO about 4 or 5 years now, I do believe. But when he won two Lakeside World Championships, he made a statement that everyone was asking questions, where is Glenn Durrant going to go to the PDC? But I think he made the right choice. He said BDO for life, but he didn't win the world trophy that he hadn't won, and he won. I think he's won a couple of Finders Darts Masters. I do believe he's won 2 World Masters, but playing Mark McGeaney on that occasion. But the most disappointing thing about Glenn Durrant is he wanted to be a 3-time World Masters, but sadly he lost to Adam Smith-Neal, who that took to qualify for the Lakeside, but Adam broke his leg. But he was having some injury problems against Mark McGrath. Then Glenn went to the PDC after winning his 3rd Lakeside World Championships. Because when he came over, everyone was like, he won't win a tour card, and he won't compete, and he won't win one. But he proved them wrong again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Charlie, I might have been one of those guys that doubted how he would do when he came over to the PDC, but he has proved everybody wrong. And I got to tell you, most people didn't doubt it at all, because this guy is quite a player. I mean, when the pressure is on, Duzza doesn't seem to be phased. I mean, he doesn't seem to get nervous in those big moments, and I think that's what makes him one of the best in the world.
Yeah, definitely, and everyone has their own opinion about it, but when he got to the UK Open, went to UK Open, if you know what I mean, but he went to the UK Open, I said about 3 times, and the PDC said he's not supposed to be wearing the red and white shirt, because it's probably part of the rules of the PDC about football colour, because he comes from Middlesbrough.
So when you're watching a big Duzza match, I mean, are you on the edge of your seat? I get right into the darts when I'm watching. I love the game because I do think there are big pressure moments and the individual characters come out. You get to see the intensity in action. When you're watching darts, are you like that, cheering at the screen? Are you on the edge of your seat?
Yes. When Glenn Durrant's on, I always wear his shirt from Target every single time I watch him in my shirt. I always cheer.
Yeah, well, that's great. And you know, the one thing about Duzza, too, I've never met him, but from what I can tell on social media, he seems like a really, really nice guy and funny, too.
He sure is, yeah. I was supposed to meet Glenn Durrant in November in Bedfordshire last year, but as he got to the semi-finals of the Grand Slam, he pulled out because Nick Kenny had to take in with Jim Williams. And so I was lucky enough to play Jim Williams, had a practice with him for a moment, and I got to meet the MC, Charlie Corstefine, who used to be a BDO referee and a referee for the England Darts.
It seems like you've got to meet a lot of these guys. I see pictures with Chris Mason. I mentioned Darren Webster. You've got a Bobby George shirt. Of course, you wear your Duzza shirts. I mean, you've got a lot of collectibles. And by the way, you recently made High Roller Radio history, and I want to talk about that. First player to ever hit a 180 on video wearing our shirt. And let me tell you, mate, that was brilliant. I will cherish that video forever. That was great.
It was, yeah. I thought, no warm-up, just first 3.
That is unbelievable. First 3 darts, because I asked your mom to record some footage for the video that we're about to make after this interview, and you went up there and boom, first 3 darts, bam, no warm-up needed.
Yeah, definitely. It is my lucky shirt.
Yeah, I love that shirt, man. High Roller Radio, that was great. Speaking of that video, I got a glimpse into your bedroom, mate, or should I call it a darts museum. Wall-to-wall jam with darts collectibles and memorabilia. Tell me about some of your favorite items. I know you got some shirts. You've got so many sets of darts. A lot of stuff on your wall. A lot of great stuff there.
Yeah, I love them all because I also got shirts on the ceiling because I've no more room on the walls. It was just all stems of flights and pictures.
Yeah, that's great. A true fan right there. I got to ask you about your nickname, The Boss. I love it. You know I love that name, The Boss. How did you get it?
One of my friends from Bury Cougars, who I play Friday, a bloke named Ken Goodwin, decided to give me a nickname called The Boss. You know, in comedy series with Ronnie Corbett, I like the language, Timothy. Yeah, it's very funny.
You tell them off for swearing, didn't you?
Yeah, and I always tell them off for swearing as well.
Well, hey, that's a good thing. I mean, no swearing at the darts, right? And they just called you The Boss and it stuck.
That's right.
Now, interesting because, when I think of the nickname The Boss, I think of Bruce Springsteen. And I like to do a lot of research for these interviews, Charlie. I've done some research, and I understand that it's not The Boss you like. You're a big Sting fan, and that you also have another collection, vinyl records. Tell me about this. This is great.
Well, I like Sting's music, but he had the band called The Police with Stuart Copeland, who was the drummer, and Andy Summers, who is a guitarist. They did 5 studio albums. They did get into a little bit of fight sometimes, but there's some footage from the train, and they used to have a fight, which don't think it was nice to see.
Well, fights are never nice to see. Legendary group, though, The Police. Why vinyl? It just sounds better?
It depends, really, depending on the sound quality. But not only that, I also have them on CD.
You got it all, right?
Yeah.
Big collector, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I think collections are good. It's a great hobby. I mean, let's talk about youth darts now. So many great youth organizations out there for darts to help young people get involved in the game early, help them get better, improve, pick up their style, practice. I see the Sudbury Youth Academy all over Twitter. Great organization. Tell me about it, Charlie. You're involved. Seems like a great club to be part of.
Yeah, definitely. And he goes, I think I've started to go into Sudbury Youth Darts Academy from August, about a couple of years ago, since 2018, I believe. I first didn't know what it was like, but I got used to it.
The caliber these days, they're starting young. So many great young players. I see you've met Leighton Bennett.
That's right. I first met him at Riley's Norwich, where you qualified for the UK Open. I got to meet Leighton. I got him to sign me autograph book.
That's awesome.
But, the good thing about Leighton Bennett, and it is when he hit his first ever 9 darts at the Darts Planet TV tournament and Windmill Masters tournament. Sorry, I said tournament twice already. It was against a good friend of mine from Bury Cougars team that I made a lot of friends with, Richard Anderson. But they sometimes, we Bury Cougars teammates, can calling him Richie for some reason.
Teammates, he played, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And what's Leighton like? He's a fine young player. I mean, a world champion. He's got quite a future, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. He's only like 14, I think. And yes, he is. Yes, but he's 15 at New Year's Eve, the end of December.
Now, I know Leighton Bennett often appears on Darts Planet TV, as do you. I mean, you're always over there, part of the live stream quite a bit. Seems like so much fun over there at Darts Planet TV. You're a big fan. You got Chris Mason, Gav, Connor, who just hit a 180, by the way. That was great to watch. Adam,
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are all making darts sexy, right? How much fun has that been for you?
Yeah, all of them being so good to me. They've been so good to me. The good thing about Darts Planet TV is my funniest moment when Gavin had a deal with Connor. If Connor beat Gavin will have to bring out the sit-down T-shirts and put them on the website. But on the bad side is if Gavin beats Connor, he had to stay out of his bedroom for a week off his Xbox, which was my funniest moment.
That's a high-pressure match right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, you recently got the Darts Planet TV T-shirt. Looks great. Just seems like you're having a lot of fun over there. I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely. As Gav said, it's made for it's made for darts fans, for the darts fans.
By the darts fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, made for darts fans, by darts fans. Gavin, Chris Mason, the entire gang over there at DPTV. They've been doing wonderful work, especially during the lockdown. They've even raised a ton of money for charity, so good job. Speaking of great dart content, how about one of your pals, the darts referee. I think he just surpassed, what, 15,000 subscribers on YouTube? I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I always help Jack out as well. I help a lot of people out.
Well, you sure do, mate, and you help us out, too, with all the retweets. What is it about Jack that you like? This guy's doing a lot of great creative stuff on YouTube, and it's showing, and I think his future on that platform is just dynamite.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I get on with Jack really well. I didn't know who he was, but I now got used to it, and I first met him.
By the way, you have your own YouTube channel as well, Charlie the Boss Gray. You got close to 300 subscribers. Are you going to be doing some more videos? Because I really think you should, mate. I think you're good at it. I just watched your Gezi darts review, Making Darts Sexy. I love it. I think you're good at it. You love the game so much. I think you got to put out some more content for us.
Oh, yes, definitely. See, there's more videos coming soon. Obviously, I've not been around for quite some time, but I'm possibly going to get back to videos at some point.
During lockdown, have you been getting lots of practice in? How are things where you are right now with respect to the lockdown? How are things going?
Yeah, everything's all fine. Obviously, we're not having guests around at the moment, but hopefully we'll have them back once the lockdown's all over. Then next year will be a lot better, possibly.
And on that topic with the lockdown, a lot of these darts are on the internet now, live stream, not the live feel, but still something to watch, right? It's still a good thing that we get to see this.
Yes, that's going to help. That's going to help a lot of people. See, if the darts comes back on, if the World Match Play does, but I don't know when. Don't know if they will go ahead, but we'll just have to see what happens.
Now, there's a new website. It's autismawarenessindarts.wordpress.com. Autism Awareness in Darts. It's run by our good friend Henry Cheel, a former guest of ours. You are one of the faces of this website, Charlie, alongside your good pal Harvey Stringer, the Hurricane. Tell me about Autism Awareness in Darts. What would you like the people to know about autism and about young people with autism?
Well, I would say is don't let it stop doing what you love. Everyone has difficulties in their life, and this is mine.
You know, that is so poignant. That is amazing advice. Don't let it stop you following your dream, right?
Yeah. I always wear the autism badges on all of my shirts to raise awareness.
Darts seems to be a good sport for people with autism. I'm wondering why that is. I mean, it's just a great sport in general, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
I know your buddy Harv. He plays darts. He loves the game just like you two. You guys have a great relationship, and you can tell they're on Twitter as well.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, we get on with each other really well and have a laugh with each other.
Listen, Charlie, I really appreciate this. Charlie the Boss Gray. Check him out on YouTube. Check out his profile at autismawarenessindarts.wordpress.com. Again, that's autismawarenessindarts.wordpress.com. Jane, thank you so much. Charlie, thank you so much for your time, man. Really enjoyed this.
That's
No
all
problem,
right.
Derek.
I tried to keep out of it and let Charlie just answer.
It was great. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Twitter, my man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later. Stay safe.